So in this really short video, we're going to go over how you can find the right top performing franchise, and we've published this on Forbes, so you can find it on Forbes. So first I want you to stop. Wait a minute, this is different from what you're expecting. This is not a sales pitch. It's actually the opposite. It's designed to help you for free, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But first, let me tell you what you're getting for free. I've set aside some time to design a personalized side-by-side comparative analysis of franchises free. We begin by finding out what your favorite franchise models are, and we find out your favorite industries, and we find out your desired business model. Whether it be semi-absentee or owner-operator, or you want to be an executive and run a team. And then we choose the best franchise for you based on your answers. We do this by having a short conversation about your desired goals. At the end of that conversation, you'll have 2 to 4 franchises that match your ideal scenario, and schedule a discovery call with those brands to compare options. And after that discovery call, we'll meet again to review your thoughts and get some feedback, and we'll offer some advice, or we can find some other options. You might compare this process to shopping for a home. Our service would be the realtor showing homes, or franchises in this case. You'll get free access to our team of trusted advisors, and that includes a franchise attorney, an accountant, and a financing advisor. Why are we doing this, you might ask? Well, this is how we get clients. Similar to how a home buyer doesn't pay a realtor to view homes, you don't pay us to view franchises. The franchisor pays us to find the best franchisees to add to their network. I prefer to help you in advance for free and then let the value of that experience speak for itself. After you get your free side-by-side comparative analysis, one of these 3 things will happen. The first possibility is you think the comparative analysis is no good and that we wasted your time. This has literally never happened. But in the event you feel your time was wasted, I'll immediately send you a voucher for a free $5 gift card as compensation. That's right, you'll get a card in the mail and you'll be able to go to use it for a cup of coffee on us. The second possibility is you might decide that you prefer doing this all by yourself, and that's fine. In that case, I've provided a step-by-step guide to show you exactly how to do it alone, which is exactly the things we're going to do for you. In fact, we've published it on Forbes for the world to see. It's called the Lean Franchising Method, and it's a 3-part series. There's a link to it below this video. The third and most common scenario is you're so thrilled with the side-by-side comparative analysis that we give you that you ask to become a client, and this is still free. Here's how that works. First, we discuss your ideal scenario and either match it immediately or do a reality check. Now, these are typically positive conversations, and it's okay. You're not supposed to know everything right out of the gate. You'll get behind the scenes real talk from us, and we'll tell you what it's really like to own a franchise and what other franchisees might be earning in that particular network, and a lot of other details. And then we'll introduce you to your chosen brand so you can see for yourself what it would be like to own that franchise all for yourself. And don't worry, you're not obligated to do anything at all here. This is just like shopping for a home. You might like the first one, but many times it's the 10th one. And we'll assist you in the entire process, including shadowing an actual franchise owner if that's something you want to do, for a day or two before you've spent a single penny. This gives you what I like to call reality goggles. It saves you loads of time and research. This also avoids being quote-unquote sold by the brand on what they tell you with a lack of some peripheral vision, which comes from seeing some similar comparables. If you have no actual experience running that type of business, you might be romanticizing the idea of it and not really the reality of it. So what we help you do here is get some peripheral vision and make sure your feet are firmly placed on the ground and that your eyes are wide open going in. Now we'll provide a franchise attorney with 30 years of experience, and they hold your hand through the whole deal, right? But it doesn't stop there. As a client, you get so much more. In addition to the free side-by-side comparables, you also get a franchise accountant to review the deal. Now, when reviewing the franchise disclosure documents, you'll have the advantage of a team of experienced guides to advise you through the entire process. And a franchise finance expert with 30 years of experience is on our team for you, and it's at no cost. They advise you before you expose yourself, which protects you and your interest in the purchase. Now, we're an unbiased team. We're on your side to help you avoid costly mistakes and quickly get to the kind of franchise that you're actually looking for. Now, we're not selling anything directly, so we have no bias to any brand or lender, and you're getting real unbiased guidance here. But wait, there's still more. You also get an exit strategy discussion. What's that? Well, if you're only thinking about new franchise ownership, we shift your attention to that 3 to 5 year exit plan and discuss resale values in that network. Plus, we give you weekly calls to help you with anything you need, and we'll tell you when cool new opportunities come up right in your area. And that is if you want to become a client, and it's also if we choose to work with you, because we simply can't work with everyone. We really only want probably about 21 clients at any given point in time. We can't really handle much more than that. The cost of doing business with us, wait for it, it's just 15 minutes to fill out the questionnaire, which is linked below. And that's it. Promise you. Never gonna sell you anything that costs you any money. However, you should know this is not a sales pitch in disguise. In fact, if at the end of our conversation you tell me we wasted your time, I'll give you a $5 Starbucks card immediately as compensation. No strings attached. But there's a catch. We can't help everyone. In order for us to do this for you, you must meet this strict but reasonable criteria. First, you must be seriously considering purchasing a franchise. If you're just kicking the tires and looking for some research and poking around online, that's fine. That's something you should be doing. And if you're actually poking around because you're seriously considering it and you have a budget, then we would love to talk with you. But if you don't really have a budget and you're just kind of looking around, you don't really need to talk to someone like us yet. And that means if you are seriously considering a purchase, then that means you meet the following minimum liquid capital and net worth requirements. Second, you understand this is similar to purchasing a home. You may view several options before finding the right fit. That means to invest in a franchise, you meet the following minimums for liquid capital and net worth. Liquid capital of at least $15,000 up to $2.5 million, depending on the type of franchise we're looking at for you. Liquid capital, for the sake of this conversation, can be your 401k. It can be anything in stocks or bonds. It could be your savings account. And if it's in equity, that's not necessarily, that's more on a net worth side, right? So if it's equity and then you actually took out a HELOC on your home and put it in your savings account, that's liquid. So in this case, liquid capital, money in the bank or in your stocks and bonds or your retirement accounts, you have at least $15,000 up to $2.5 million, depending on what kind of franchise we're really talking about here. And your net worth should be between, at a minimum, $60,000 up to $4 million, again, depending on what type of franchise you want to get into. Some of these are very small work from home scenarios, and others are large retail operations. And that's it. If this sounds interesting, here's what to do next. Click the link below this video and you'll be taken to a brief questionnaire. It's nothing intrusive. It takes about 15 minutes to fill out and simply provides us with the criteria to match you with the most lucrative franchises that fit your lifestyle goals and your income goals. Next, you will schedule a time on my calendar link below to review your results. And at that point, I'll actually be bringing some franchises, your matching franchise brands, and you can view those brands right there on our first conversation. You'll be looking at real options. And after we talk, one of these three things will happen. The first possibility is you love the franchise options on our first meeting and you decide to move forward with a discovery call on around 2 to 4 brands as your first round of possibilities. If that's the case, we'll be thrilled that you're happy. We'll connect you directly with the brand and be by your side for advice every step of the way through. The next possibility is you don't love the first round of brands and I've totally missed, and you want us to go back to the drawing board and try again for a second round of brand presentations. If that's the case, we'll get started immediately and we'll set another appointment to have a second showing of brands. The third scenario has actually never happened, and that's where you'd tell us we wasted your time and that the side-by-side comparative analysis wasn't helpful at all. If that happens, we'll immediately give you a $5 Starbucks gift card and hope that you enjoy that cup of coffee on us. So clearly you have nothing to lose by having us prepare a side-by-side comparative analysis and then booking a franchise brand presentation for you. And that's why you should click the link below and do 2 things. Number 1, complete the questionnaire. And number 2, schedule that presentation. You should see links below that lead you to the questionnaire so you can finish that. Set aside about 15 minutes to get that through. And that's really telling us just criteria. What are you looking for? What's your budget? Where are you? And what kind of a lifestyle do you want? What do you like to do? What's your background? What are your skill sets? And we're going to use that to match you with the top performing franchisees in any given franchise network and say he's most like this guy. And you may tell us that you really like real estate except your skill set and your background says you probably make a lot of money over on these ones, so we'll show you both. Here's the real estate ones, but coincidentally, you match the skill set and background of the top performers over here. You might want to take a look at that. And number two, you schedule a presentation, and that's where we'll go over all this stuff, and we'll show you, actually on that presentation call, we'll show you 3 to 5 brands or so that match the criteria that you put in that questionnaire. Also, below, I've included a link to our Forbes article, which is it's 3 articles long. It's a series of articles that we call the Lean Franchising Method, which comes from our business name here, which is leanfranchises.com. And that is basically how we do what we do. So if you're more of the work by yourself type of person, you may want to just take our method and go ahead and do it on your own. It's not something, it's not magic. It's just a lot of hard work. It's due diligence. And if you've never done the due diligence before and you're doing it your first time, it's probably going to take you a really long time. If you've done this for decades like we have, then you might whip right through it and have a lot of helpful conversations all on your own. But each time you do the due diligence for one franchise concept, it could take you up to 2 weeks. Because you're going to schedule with them, you're going to do a discovery call, and then you're going to do a follow-up call, and they're going to book you on their calendar, which sometimes can be a week out in itself. You may spend 3 weeks to go through one brand and then discover that that's not the right one. You do it with us, you fill out that questionnaire, boom, you're going to talk to, up to 4 different brands, sometimes more, right out of the gate. You'll schedule with all of them at the same time, and we can give you all the information that they probably will present you. We can give you most of the information that they would give you on our discovery call to kind of round it out and see if that's something that will really work for you anyway, without going through a whole sales funnel and then having them follow up with you after you've decided that's really not the one you want. So this skips the line. It's a fast pass that skips the line. And I really look forward to meeting you. And if not, I wish you the best of luck if you want to do it on your own. Again, the instructions to DIY it are below. And if you want to work with us, complete that questionnaire, schedule the presentation on my calendar, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.